Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Our Guru Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Richa Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start Mataji, please.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Jai Shala Prabhupada, Danvar Pranam.
Yeah, I will share the screen, Mataji. You can start with the prayers only. Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udriyate Naste Prayas Abhradreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki. Canto 3, Chapter 13, Text 26. Playing like an infant, he entered into the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. The Lord is the object of the Vedic prayers, and thus he understood that the devotees' prayers were meant for him. Text 27. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his hard hairs, quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hoofs and his glittering white tusk. Text 28. He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental. Yet, because he had the body of a hawk, he searched after the earth by smell. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee Brahmanas engaged in offering prayers. Thus he entered the water. Text 29. Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me in two. Kindly give me protection. Text 30. Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hoofs, which were the sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as if was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it. Text 31. Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his anger glowing like the Sudarshan wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyakashipu, although he tried to fight with the Lord. Text 32. Thereupon Lord Boar killed the demon within the water, just as a lion kills an elephant. The cheeks and the tongue of the Lord became smeared with the blood of the demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish from digging in the purple earth. Text 33. Then the Lord, playing like an elephant, splendid the earth on the edge of his curved white tusk. He assumed a blush complexion like that of a tamal tree, and thus the sages headed by Brahma could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offer respectful obeisances unto the Lord. Text 34. All the sages uttered with great respect, O unconquerable enjoyer of all sacrifices, all glories and all victories unto you. Vic- victories unto you. You are moving in your form of the personified Vedas, and in the hair holes of your body, the oceans are submerged. For certain reasons, to uplift the earth, you have now assumed the form of a boar. Text 35. O Lord, your form is worshipable by performances of sacrifice, but souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see it. All the Vedic hymns, Gayatri, and others are in the touch of your skin. Your bodily hairs is the kusa, is a kusa grass. In your eyes is the clarified butter, and in your forelegs are the four kinds of fruitative activities. O Lord, your text 36, O Lord, your tongue is a plate of sacrifice. Your nostril is another plate of sacrifice. In your belly is the eating plate of sacrifice, and another plate of sacrifice is the holes of your ears. In your mouth is the Brahma plate of sacrifice. Your throat is the plate of sacrifice, known as Soma, and whatever you chew is known as Agnihotra. Text 37. Moreover, O Lord, the reputation of your appearance is the desire for all kinds of initiation. Your neck is the place of three desires, and your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the prior activities of initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice, as well as the fire of worship, and your living forces are the aggregate of all desire. Text 38. O Lord, your semen is the sacrifice called Somyagn. Your growth is the ritualistic performances of the morning. Your skin and touch sensation are the seven elements of the Agnistoma sacrifice. Your bodily joints are symbols of various other sacrifices performed in 12 days. Therefore, you are the objects of all sacrifice called Som and Asoma, and you are bound by yagnas only. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Rich Mataji. Yeah, when you're ready, you can start, Sundaracala Prabhu.
Good morning, dear devotees. I will start with brief prayers. Thank you so much, Richa Mataji, for reading. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parishthaya Bhutale Vaishesha Kadaswadikari Te Namane Nama Prasya Srilaya Prabhupada Anucharine Nindita Hrudaya Tasmai Shastra Jyotai Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sapitaye Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर सेवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So we are reading today from chapter 13, appearance of Lord Varaha. So yesterday we have reached till verse 24. 25. So I'll start with verse 26. So let's have a brief overview. Varaha Dev has appeared and inquiries made by Vidura about Manu. In response to that, Brahma started speaking, and when Brahma starts speaking, protect people and please Lord, else one's efforts are useless labor. Like that, when demigods offer prayers, actually when Swayambhu Manu offers prayers, so Brahma responds and he starts explaining about the pastime of, without providing any solution at this point, he starts explaining about Varahadev. So from verse 26, the Lord's personification of Vedas, Veda Vitana Murtir, was described. So he was playing like an elephant. He entered into water, the beautiful form of Varahadev, and he replied to Vedic prayers of great devotees. So you might have heard from yesterday that the higher realms, the sages from higher realms, such as uh, Tapoloka, Maharloka, and Brahmaloka, so they started offering prayers by seeing the appearance of Lord, Supreme Lord. So, so here in this verse, it was described that Lord entered into water roaring, acknowledging the Vedic prayers made by great devotees. And the Lord is object of Vedic prayers. So he reciprocated. It was not meant for anyone else. So he understood the devotee prayers were actually meant for him. So Prabhupada says, the form of Lord in any shape is always transcendental and full of knowledge and mercy. It doesn't matter whether he's in the form of a hog or whether he's in the form of a tortoise or in his four-handed form or Krishna's form. The Lord is the destroyer of all material combination because his form is personified Vedic knowledge. So there is in order to remove the glaring effulgence, the Vedic mantras from Ishopanishad describe devotees request the Lord to remove the glaring effulgence to uncover his real face. So Ishopanishad indicates that we have to pray for Lord to reveal out of his own causeless mercy. So Vedas are said to be breath of the Lord. So when these Vedas were inhaled by Lord Brahma, and the same Vedas came out of the exhalation of Lord Brahma, and through the breathing from nostril of Brahma, Lord Bor appeared. So that indicates that Vedas actually, the Bor incarnation of Lord is nothing but a Vedic personification of Vedas. And whenever there is a glorification of the Lord, it is to be understood that the Vedic mantras are properly being vibrated, or rightly vibrated. If Vedic mantras were vibrated for wrong persons, that includes this person, that person, we might think that he's the greatest personality, or we might think that he's a god. If we address that to those Vedic mantras for a wrong personalities, it is just nothing but not properly vibrated. So there will not be any result for such Vedic sacrifices or recitation of such Vedic mantras. So the Lord was therefore pleased when such Vedic mantras were chanted, and to encourage, Lord is trying to encourage his devotees in the form of a hog, and he roared once more just to give the excitement to the devotees. Entered the water to rescue the submerged earth. Even if I was hearing from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, where he was explaining when there is a Utthana ceremony, when the baby himself turns upside down. So at that growth stage, it is one of the prominent stages which is being celebrated. So there is a when Yashoda is holding baby Krishna, because he started yawning and started feeling sleeping when he started hearing Vedic mantras recited by the Brahmanas who were celebrating the Utthana ceremony. So Yashoda actually took Krishna out of the arena so that Krishna gets peaceful sleep. So Krishna is actually different. Krishna, though he is happy with the Vedic recitation, mantras recitation, but ultimately he is in the Krishna's form. He likes uh, the devotion with love more. So with the five, among the five rasas available, he likes to get addressed more than reverence. He like to be addressed with love. So the in comparison, not that Krishna doesn't like Vedic recitation, but he loves it. But more than that, he likes the bhava of the devotees. So text 27, the Lord's activities were described here. Ukshiptavala Kacharaha. Kathora Vidhuvan Ukshiptavala. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, so Lord Bohr was described 5 different ways. Lord Bohr flew into the sky. Ukkacharaha. He was described as slashing his tail, and that is Ukshiptavala. And his hard hairs on the shoulder were quivering, and that was described here as Katora Shata Vidhunvan, and his glance was luminous. And it is described here, Iksha Jyotir Bhabhase. He scattered the clouds in the sky with his hoofs, and that is described as Iksha Jyoti. That is described as Kurahata Braha, and he was described as he has a glittering white tusks, and that is described as Sitadamstra. The Lord offered, when the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, here the activities were described. So these are all part of acknowledging the prayers issued by Lord Bohr. While doing the rescuing of it, he simply didn't go and immediately rescued and went away. He's acknowledging it every moment. As the residents of upper 3 planetary systems, when they prayed to the Lord understood that his body expanded throughout the sky. Prabhupada says, and beginning from the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, it is stated, it was described that Lord's eyes were effulgent, so and they were glowing, and that indicates Brahma. Prabhupada actually parallel verse he gives from Brahma Samhita, confirming this as his very glance was illuminating as sun and moon. And Mahidhara means either a big mountain or sustainer of earth. He was as big as a mountain, but he was described as Mahidhara because he's actually a sustainer of this earth. So Lord's body as big, as hard, and as like a Himalayan mountains, it was described. Otherwise, how is it possible to lift the entire earth? Right? The poet Jayadeva, he actually sung about the incident, this particular incident, with his prayers. Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tavalagna shishini kalanka kale vanyamagna keshavadrita sukararupa jay jagadish hare. Like that he describes. All glories to Lord Keshava, Krishna, who appeared as the boar. The earth was held between his tusks, which appeared like the scars on the moon. And if you observe the next verse, although transcendental, Lord is imitating exactly like a hog that we see in the material world. Also, he is completely transcendental. How he imitated a regular hog, it is here described. Granena prutviyaha padavin vijigram. Smelling of the earth, Granena prutviyaha. He started smelling the earth with his nose. And padavin vijigran, searching after the earth, just like hog searches for the potatoes which are deep inside the earth. It digs and searches, right? Like that, Lord starts searching for the earth. Karala damstro api akarala durbhyam. It is described the tusks were very fearful, but glancing over the devotees engaged in offering prayers were very merciful. Those glances were very merciful, though his tusks were very fearful. And that's how he entered the water. So although the body of a hog is material, hog form of Lord was not materially contaminated. It is not possible for earthly hog to assume a gigantic form spreading throughout the sky. That is a key point. And beginning from Satyaloka, it is so high. Those realms are so high on the sky and they were able to witness this large form of Lord Varahadev. But since he has assumed the form of a boar, he began to search out the earth by smelling just like a hog. The Lord can perfectly play the part of a living entity. As you can notice, Krishna is a perfect actor. Even Kunti Maharani prays. She mentions that in her prayer. So there cannot be a best actor than Lord Krishna. So here he is perfectly playing the role of a hog. The gigantic feature of Sat was certainly very fearful for all non-devotees, but the pure devotees, Lord was not at all fearful. On the contrary, his pleasing glances were pleasing his devotees, and all the devotees were feeling the transcendental happiness. 29. The Lord boat dived into the ocean. Yamuna also became, if you see, um, Lord actually, when he dived into the ocean, half of the universe actually is filled with Garbhodakaya, inundated water. Garbhodakaya ocean has came up to the half of the universe. It filled up. So when Varahadev is so huge that when he dived, while this is the perception of all the three planetary residents and the higher realms, while they are looking upon, Lord dived into the Garbhodakaya ocean. When he dived, the waves were so big that they started, the shape was as if like it is like this, like as if someone is praying for mercy to the Lord Varahadev and requesting him to protect him. So the ocean, Garbhodakaya ocean appeared like that. So, and appeared, and great ocean was actually perturbed as per Prabhupada. Falling of a mountain-like body of a transcendental boar, it appeared to be frightened as if death was imminent. So similar to this incident, and actually when Lord Krishna was Yamuna also splits into two halves and gives way to Lord Krishna when he was taken birth, when he appeared in this world. So similar to this incident. So cleaving the water, verse 30. Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, with like a sharp arrows, found the limits of ocean. Although the ocean is unlimited, imagine it is 4 billion miles wide universe, and half of it is filled with water. Imagine the depth of it. It is very almost unlimited. And he found the limits of ocean. That means he is so big that he could find the limits of depth of the ocean, although it was unlimited. Saw the earth, resting place of all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of the creation. He personally lifted it. He personally lifted Mother Earth. And it is mentioned here. Yeah, the word. So he actually lifted from a level of Rasatala planet, which is so down. So the word Rasayam is sometimes interpreted to be Rasatala, lowest planetary system, not applicable in this connection, but according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it is 7 times superior to other planetary systems like Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Patala, like that. Therefore, the Earth cannot be suited in the Rasatala planetary system. It is and therefore, Lord found the Earth on the bottom of Garbhodaka ocean, where the planets rested during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. And pastimes of Neelavaraha in Chakshusha Manvantara were described from verse 31 to 33. Though the actual appearance was Svetavaraha, white form of the Lord Boar, it is actually described, Chakshusha Manvantara's form was described by Maitreya Muni. And and actually it is a combination of both Svetavaraha and Raktavaraha descriptions were given here. Swadamstrayo dhruta mahim nimagnyam savuttita samruruche rasayaha tatrapi daityam gadyapanantam sunabha sandiptita tivra manyuh. Sunabha, and it is actually, Sunabha means Sudarshana Chakra that is held by Lord Krishna. Manyu, and is displaying fierce anger. And here it is described, the Lord boar easily took up the earth with his tusks, got out of the water. He was appearing very splendid. His glowing anger was appearing like a Sudarshana wheel. You know, Sudarshana wheel rotates at a very high velocity. When it rotates, you can imagine, we never witness, but we can imagine it's like anger. Immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha. And Lord Varahadev, after killing Hiranyaksha, very effortlessly he killed. But he tried to fight the Lord in the beginning, but Varahadev is so powerful that he killed him. So sage Maitreya amalgamated, Prabhupada says, Vishwanatha Chakravarti suggests that sage Maitreya amalgamated both the boar incarnations in different devastations and summarized them in the description to the Vidura. So these are two different days of Brahma, and these are from two different kalpas. So text. So Hiranyaksha, he's actually the son of Diti, and Diti is actually a daughter of Daksha, right? And in Chakshusha Manvantara, which is 6th Manvantara, so this Varaha who killed Hiranyaksha appeared in the 6th Manvantara and is called Neela Varaha or Rakta Varaha. So that's how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur concludes that this description is actually not from the Swayambhu Manvantara, but rather it is from Chakshusha Manvantara. And the Lord is compared with, in the next verse, a lion. Lord boar killed the demon within the water, just as lion kills an elephant. Cheeks and tongue of the Lord became smeared with the blood of demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish. And when elephant digs the purple earth, its tusks become reddish, its face becomes reddish. That's how Lord appeared. That is the analogy given. So he appeared like a lion, and he's also appeared like an elephant with a reddish. He became reddish from digging the purple earth. And text 33 is a beautiful verse actually. Tamala Neelam Sitadanta Kotya Kshamam Ukshipantam Gajalila Anga Prajnaya Badhanjalayo Anuvakair Virinchi Mukhya Upatashturisham. After knowing, so actually Prajnaya indicates that actually the Virinchi, who is Brahma Mukhya, all the great sages along with Brahmaji, they understood Prajnaya, that he is the Supreme Lord, because he displayed the color of Tamala Neelam Sitadanta Kotya Gajalila Yanga. That means if you can remember from our previous class, you might have heard, even when Radharani sees a Tamala tree which resembles Krishna's color, she immediately gets remembrance of Krishna, and she goes immediately thinking that it is Krishna. Radharani goes and hugs the Tamal tree. So here the same description was given while describing the color of the text verse 33, Tamala. He's in the color of Tamala tree. Then the Lord, while he displayed this color, and again in text 34 to 35, prayers by the sages unto the Lord Varaha were described. Varahadev, Father, you are, and Bhudev, you are our mother. That's the overview. So Rishis have started. They are worshipping Yajna Bhavana, one who is understood by performance of sacrifice. Yajna Bhavana was also described. Triyam Tanum Swam, and that actually means personified Vedas. Paridhunvate Namaha, and they were actually shaking while they are paying obeisances out of reverential feelings. And Yadroma Gharteshu Nililyuradhayas, and it is described his hair holes of your body are so big, your form is so big that even within the hair holes of your body, the oceans are completely submerged. It is so big, huge form. For certain reasons, however, tasmai nama karana sukarayate. For certain reasons, however, though you are transcendental, you have taken this poor form. Like that they were praying in this verse. Lord assume any form he likes. All circumstances, however, is completely transcendental. And holds Mahavishnu in while innumerable universes generate from his holes of his bodily pores, hair pores. His transcendental body is Vedas personified. He appeared it was compared similar to Mahavishnu's. And that's why it was described by Prabhupada here. His transcendental body is Vedas personified. He is enjoyer of all sacrifices, unconquerable Supreme Lord. He is never to be misunderstood. This is a caution that Prabhupada is giving. He is never to be misunderstood to be other than Supreme Lord, this boar form. Because form of a boar has lifted the earth. It is clear understanding of sages in this verse. Great personalities like sage Brahma, residents of higher planetary systems, have recognized him as Supreme Personality. So we also have to recognize him as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Varaha's body is a form of sacrifice. Advaratamakam. Advaratmakam. So 35 to 38 it is described. Your skin is like Vedic hymns, Chandamsi. Your bodily hair is Kushagras, Barhi. Your eyes are like ghee, ajam, that we put it into the yajna. Your 4 legs represent the 4 actions of Hota, Advaryu, Udgata, Brahma, Chaturhotram. These Chaturhotram represent your 4 legs, like that he was glorified in this verse 35. If you look at the verse um, um, purport, it is described. There is a class of miscreants, and they were Vedavadi, so-called strict followers of Vedas. They do not believe the incarnation of the Lord. Who speak of what to speak of? Boar's form of Lord's incarnation. They describe this to be as nothing but anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism. That means actually elevating a living entity to a god level, seeing its supernatural activities. So they're condemned here by Prabhupada. And fools and lowest of mankind, namam dushritano mudaha papajyante naradhama. And those 3 categories of foolish people, plundered by illusion, who have atheistic temperament, such condemned persons, along with the strict followers of Vedas who despise the eternal forms of Lord, may know that from Srimad Bhagavatam that such incarnations are personified forms of Vedas, the same Vedas that they are reciting, the same Vedas they have so much respect for. He is actually personification. It is acknowledged by Brahmadev directly. So specifically Gayatri Mantra. So 36, his tongue was described as sacrificial ladle, srak, his nostril, ghee ladle, sruva, belly was ida vessel, ears were described as chamsa container, chamasa container, mouth was described as prasita vessel, throat was described as soma plates, achieving of Lord was described as nothing but our sacrifice, Agnihotram. So actually, Lord's, in Agnihotram, the fire sacrifice that we do, it represents the mouth of the Supreme Lord. So it is understood from text 36 that regulation, there are different plates of sacrifices required, such as Sarak, Sruva, Barhis, Chaturhotra, Ida, Chamasa, Prasitra, Grana, and Agnihotra. One cannot achieve these results of sacrifice unless one observes strict regulations. All plates have to be used. In this age of Kali, practically there is no facility for performing such sacrifices with discipline. So in age of Kali, one should perform Sankirtan, Yajna, nothing more, Prabhupada says. In other words, taking shelter of Lord and rendering service unto him, factual performance of all sacrifices as explained. Different plates of sacrifice correspond to different parts of the body of the Lord's incarnation. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Varnam Tvishadhishtam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yajnair Sankirtanai prior Yajanti the most intelligent people. I forgot the last word. So what it meant is for the most intelligent people in this age of Kali, the form of worship that recommended by Krishna, recommended here is as per the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. In this verse, it represents the appearance of Lord Chaitanya and his associates who appeared like astras, but actually they don't do any violence, but only they transform the hearts of people to become Krishna devotees. With such devotees encircled, Lord Chaitanya will help us understand the importance of this Sankirtana Yajna. And Prabhupada is asking us to only focus on Sankirtana Yajna, which is relevant for this world in this time. And verse number 37 and 38, I'll just quickly recite those. So the essence is from your repeated appearance, Diksha, sacrifice initiation has appeared. And neck, from your neck, Upasadaha, 3 desires, relationships, activities, ultimate goal. They represent, your neck represents all these 3. Your tusks represent Prayaniya, sacrifice after initiation. Ujjaniya, final sacrifice, end of all desires. Your tongue represents Pravargya, prior activities of the initiation. The head, Kratu Satya, fire without sacrifice, and Avasatyam, fire of worship. The living forces, your living forces of your transcendental form represent Chitya, aggregate of all desires. From your semen arose Soma Yajna. From your growth arose, as you appeared bigger and bigger, morning rituals appeared. And 7 dhatus, 7 elements of Agnishtoma sacrifice from your 7 dhatus of your transcendental form. Bodily joints of your form, Satra sacrifices done over 12 days are actually the representation of that. So you are an object of all Soma, Asoma sacrifice, and you are bound by the devotion expressed in the sacrifice. Miscreants cannot see this form of sacrifice. It is described here. And you can see Prabhupada highlights 7 kinds of routine yajnas performed by the followers of Vedic rituals. They are called Agnishtoma, Achagnishtoma, Ukta, Sodashi, Vajapeya, Atiratra, Aptoryama. So anyone performing such yajnas regularly is supposed to be situated within the Lord. But anyone who is in contact with the Supreme Lord by discharging devotional service, it is understood to have performed all different varieties of yajnas. And the devotees, that particular verse, I'm trying to, what Prabhupada referred here is 33.7, 33rd chapter within the 3rd canto, 7th verse. Aho bata sapachoto gariyan. Yes, jihvagre vartate nama tupyam. Te pustapaste juhu seshnur arya. Brahmana anuchur nama grunantiyete. If a person born in the family of dog eaters takes to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, it is to be understood that he performed in his previous lives, he must have executed all kinds of austerities, penances, and performed all Vedic yajnas. So it is confirmed here. I'll just quickly tell some pastime. A few days back, Murari Gupta has appeared. He's actually Hanuman form of Hanuman incarnation. Lord Chaitanya exhibited his Varaha form in the house of Murari Gupta. In Chaitanya Bhagavata, Madhya Khandava, it was described. One day what happened? Lord heard a verse glorifying Varaha, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he started roaring loudly. He went to the house of Murari. The Lord was greatly affectionate to Murari, just as the Lord Ramachandra was affectionate to Hanuman. As Sri Sachidananda entered the house of Murari, what happened? Murari immediately offered obeisances. As the Lord entered the house, he called out, "Bore, bore, bore." So Murari Gupta was astounded and he looked all around. Where is Bore? So Vishwambhara then entered the Vishnu temple of his house, wherein he saw a beautiful water pot with a spout. The Lord immediately assumed, when he looked at it, he assumed the form of Varaha, and with his own sweet will, he picked up the water pot on his teeth. And his form of Varaha, the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices, grunted and manifested 4 hoofs. And then the Lord ordered, "Murari, offer prayers to me. What happened? Seeing this unprecedented sight, Murari became stunned. He was unable to find any words to speak. And then the Lord said, "Speak up, do not be afraid. All these days you did not know that I am here." Murari trembled and humbly spoke, "O Lord, only you know your glories." Lord Ananta, who hold unlimited universes on one of his hoods, constantly glorifies you with his 1,000 mouths. Yet he himself admits that he has not reached the end. Therefore, who else is capable of glorifying you? Even the Vedas, those injunctions are followed by all, are unable to glorify you. O Lord, then unlimited universe that we see or hear about are all absorbed within the pores of your heads. You are always full of bliss in whatever you do. So how can the Vedas know your activities? Therefore, only you know yourselves. Others can know you only if you reveal yourselves to them. What qualification do I have to offer you prayers? O Lord, speaking in this way, Murari Gupta cried and offered obeisances to the Lord. So Varahadev was pleased with these statements of Murari Gupta, displayed anger towards Vedas. Key point to be noted is exactly representing the pastime of that he exhibited right now. Displaying anger towards the Vedas, he spoke as follows: "The Vedas mock me by accusing me of having no hands, no legs, mouth, or eyes. There is one wretch in Kasi named Prakashananda who cuts my body into pieces while teaching the Vedas. He explains the Vedas but do not accept my form. His entire body is afflicted with leprosy, yet he did not come to his senses. My pure devotee, so my pure body is the personification of all sacrifices. Personalities such as Brahma and Shiva glorify its characteristics, but the touch of my body, purity is sanctified. So how can that wretch Prakashananda say that my body is false? O Murari Gupta, listen as I tell you the essence of all doctrines. I will disclose the confidential purport of Vedas to you." Like that, the pastime happens. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for your patience, and thank you so much for opportunity to speak today, Sundaracala Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, we'll offer obeisances. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Our obeisance to all the devotees. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kupasindhu Bhyocha Palitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.